My poem is called Wet Ink Runs. I'm coming from Bijigal land in Sydney, just to let you know. Where the memories churn, I heard the clock on the wall tick and chime as if there was one that came with tobacco, smoke clinging to the air, and the crackle in the downpipe was the cousin of the open fire. And the fizz and pop from fossils and logs was melancholic romance, and the ashy hearth too hot to sit close to. Softly, softly came an ocean song of concertina and a fiddle and a bowron that played the tears of an immigrant's heart. And I wrote pages and pages like trees don't need planting, like the infinite cosmic hand drives me on through the flow, like the ink won't run dry today and there'll always be another pen, another form of paint upon the cave walls in the teeming rain. And the crackle of the downpour in the downpipe was the absence of the fire and the myriad of things I had almost forgotten. The ways we'd built resilience in the winter, in the storms, in the rain and the sleet, in the family feuds, music and drink, tiny bars and laughter, one night stands that became forever things, forever memories. And maybe they will fade and surely vanish, but not today.
Okay, may I please have Michael?
Okay, thank you very much. Not only have I never read this poem ever before anywhere, but I've never worn this hat ever before anywhere. And the only reason I wore it tonight was because Daphne had hers on. And right, good.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
That's all right. That's all
This should have
right.
been a hat party. We should have said everyone get a hat before they join.
Exactly. All right. This is called Witch's Story, and who knows where it came from. Witch's Story. You embrace the evil one, turned into the other. Inside that place we constructed stone by stone. I told you every breeze was the devil's whisper. You were leading me where no repentance could atone. The road you appeared so pale and naked in. Every Saturday around midnight I suffered. Witches' chants, witches' hats, guest demons and such like. Well, just what more would you have offered? A friend of mine, axe strapped to his back, dropped by, saw your broom by the fire. We were smoking grass when you walked in. One look from your eyes and his laughter just got higher. Your friends came around one Sunday, it's true, took off all their clothes and circled around me. I thought I was in for some real wild ride till you cleared the wood, took their matches and from the stake unbound me. Oh, Satan has your heart firm in his grip. He drinks the cup of blood from which you sip. You are forever joined with him now at the hip. And I just cannot share in this devil trip. The clouds hang, rainbow brightens the sky above. Takes my breath now, I am packing to depart, love. You've been collecting pins all week, I believe. That doll you are holding looks like me, I perceive. I remember the curses in the day. I recall the screams in the night. The timetable spreads before me. Hallelujah for the next Greyhound bus. And where is Jesus when you need him? Where's my cross? And baby, must everything flow like some B-grade horror script? Let me go. I want no fuss. That strange night, you said certain folks were calling. You prepared a meal, a royal feast you laid on. That's when I met the Prince of Darkness. And well, you showed me the new altar which you built and prayed on. So I'm taking my hash, traveling light out of here with some books I've not yet read that you have not yet burned. And I will be somewhere in God's own time, California, I guess. Try me in my absence. Satan, get thee hence. Tables turned. Okay, that's a bit of madness for the night.
Thank you for that madness. So, can we give it up for Namu?
Hello. So I wrote this poem recently with a couple people in mind, but it's really like a message or a letter to anyone close to me. And it's called But Let Me Tell You Why. I meant to just reach out to you. Sorry. I meant to say hello to you when I saw you walk on by. I meant to and I didn't, but let me tell you why. I meant to just reach out to you every day through SMS. I meant to and I didn't, but you'll let me tell you, yes? I meant to take that warmth that ignites and lights my veins at the mention of your anything that tickles at my brain, like the first letter of your name, or that silly little game, or that series that's on television that you quote and laugh at time and time again. That makes me go damn near insane. I meant to take that all and pile it in my arms, pile it on my head and feet and around my wrists like they are charms. I meant to melt that down into a cloak I'd wear all day, but I'd wear it like a hospital gown because I'm quirky in that way. I meant to take that glow that defibrillates my soul, that's so bright when you're around, but when you're not is a homeless hole. I meant to take that cloak. I meant to take that glow. I meant to take that warmth to make sure you absolutely know that when you are around, and even when you're not, you're more than just a person it seems I have forgot. I value your existence. I appreciate your time. I'm so thankful for your pulse, even when I question mine. I meant to tell you all of this. I swear that's not a lie. I meant to and I didn't, but let me tell you why. I thought of you and smiled and beelined for my phone. I started writing out a text that got me in a zone. I caught my cheeks start grinning and my dimples joined in too. I knew that when you opened it, my reflection would be mimicked by you. But then I heard a knock, followed by another, coming from the place that could be felt by any mother. The knocking turned to banging, a bang to not ignore. So I took a breath and grabbed the knob and opened up the door. Right on time, I said to them. So, what brings you by? My dimples faded then my cheeks as I ushered them inside. Are you sure you want to do this? I heard the first one say. Come on, we went through this just the other day. I inflate my hope and take a breath and start saying, I know, but when someone else cuts me off, she needs to keep her mouth shut. Through frowning brows and owl-like eyes, I pinch away a tear. You've got this shit, a faded voice whispers in my ear. I try once more, I lift my head and straighten out my chest. I need to say this now before I'm drowned out by the rest. I think it'll make them happy, I hear myself trail off. The stunned silence uplifts me for a second, then it's broken by a scoff. Come on, don't kid yourself. They don't want to hear from you. They have a life and actual friends they'd rather listen to. They're right, you know, another said. We're not trying to be mean. We're here to keep you safe, unjudged, protected, blocked, unseen. At the end of that last sentence, several others took the floor. I guess I should have seen it coming when I opened up the door. See, when I opened it, fear and doubt were crowded in one place. And it's hard to say no, just turn them away when I'd be slamming the door to my own face. I look out on a clone crowd of me, expanding throughout like butterflies and bees. As the murmur of few turn into many, my world takes a shift. I'm anxious and heavy. My belly lays hostage to the fluttering heap. Pins and needles seize my fingers and feet. I look at my phone and my message to you. It's funny, the type of funny you'd appreciate too. I meant every word. I liked what I'd said. I meant to press send, but I deleted it instead. See, this happens time to time, like maybe every single day, but it only affects me marginally. For example, leaving my room today, and yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, but if the date was last year, you get the idea. It's just my fear and doubt really like it around here. So I meant to reach out. I meant to say hi. I hope that me saying this will help you know why I opened that door and seemed like I bowed down to the mass of my clone-faced crowd. How stupid to think you'd care if I said this out loud. Thank you.
Graven images crash. Idealism slithers away. Drowning in my illusion, my temptation faded into shadows. The background hums a music soulfully loud. Horror yells out from the earth, sways in the trees, releasing the fear, embedded in bravery, tears from the tomb. Reach for the heavens, the rains drown us, the vibrations rattle our bones. unearthing the past, craving the wickedness. The wolf howls, laughter lingers. The silence crowds our towns. Cruelty lies down all around us, sweeping the earth. The madness, the magic maze happens all day. Thank you.
So my poem is called The Girl with Worms Inside Her Heart. Although 18, you were deep wounded, grisly heart, getting into fibrillation when the man kids were like wheels of trucks. They were flinging underground long corridors for dating with you, but they were missing behind their chests, crying unceasingly, desiring to have you. You were asking deep poetry with tender verses, but what you were getting were only torn facsimiles and disparate syllables. Your mind wanted some kind of Louvre museum, but you were abandoned in a periphery of rotten buildings, smelling dog urine and crushed slices of decomposed pumpkins. Yet when you were trying to share your sufferings, they were fleeing like rabbits with randomly chosen breaths. Those juniors were only helpful in ejaculation, surfing on a lidocaine ocean. Stuck with bizarre hemorrhage that was ravaging your skin more and more, you were patiently painting for a long time your wounds, contemplating their beauty painfully in elevators, mirrors, subways, doors, ponds, sidewalks. Your radioactive eyes stared neatly at the gaps below them, but soon you have changed. You pretended to look aged, homeless, addicted slut, wearing grubby hair with heavy odors. At that time, you were crushing men with blunt faces like walls of a fortress to see. Will they be able to see you capable? Will they be able to know you, to see you in you more than a Pokemon? Your voice was floating low in a bitter ocean of coffee, casting an arrogant hush of hard Romglish, sipping cheap cognac, cutting small receipts for tenderness, renewing your vision as 21st war refugee who was seeking European shores. Hence, every night you are removing the worms from your heart without anesthesia, seeing your veins in the mirror of death of your room, alone like a full moon fallen on earth.
This one's called Fish Out of Water. No, yes. I enter the cold, murky water, shivering. First my feet, then ankles, knees, waist, sap. Cold, slimy tentacles wrap around me like those of a jellyfish. But it feels different. It's tangled. I look down at my feet and see plastic bags and fishing line tangled up around me. More filth is drifting through the current. Suddenly, I feel a stabbing pain in my left lower leg. I start to panic. Oh no, I've been bitten by a shark. I swim frantically to shore to get a better look at my shark bite. Oh no, I can't look. There's a tooth in my bite. Hang on. Shark teeth don't shine. I look more closely at my gash and see not a shark tooth, but a triangular-shaped piece of glass. I think of the sea creatures swimming in this man-made filth, and I wonder, is this what it feels like to be a fish out of water?
Doing 3 poems. The first one's called Feelings. There are all different feelings like sad, happy, angry, lonely. They all have different meanings, and I feel the emotions of each one deeply. And then my next one's nature. As I walk out my door, the first thing I see is nature. Nature has many different things like trees, leaves, plants, animals, and insects too. We need to respect nature because it's living just like us. And then my first one is 2 haikus that I made. and put together. Will this friendship end? I think, lying next to them. I don't want it to. They are important to me. Someone I value. My friend through it all. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going back to my serious poems now. It was just to trick you, to make you think I'm funny. I'm not really funny. I'm just more depressing. This poem was a prompt. The prompt was simply my country. So this comes from that. My country is a woman, asked what she was wearing when they invaded her land. Like maybe she'd had one drink too many, stayed 1 hour too long, wore her skirt 1 inch too high, like maybe she should have just said no. Like maybe it wasn't forced, but invited, like all women, silenced, trauma held in cracked earth, stories birthed from a landscape of scars, rust red, mud red, blood red ink stained upon the hands of her ancestors. And I think of the ways my country and I are the same. How I too have been founded upon invasion, my body occupied and colonized without consent, innocence stolen, the rape of childhood woven through my narrative, a past not forgotten, always carried, never healed. Secrets concealed in landscape vignettes soften the edges so not to bleed truth on history pages that have written out the abuse, as if the body doesn't choose to remember what we desire to forget. And I have buried the suffering of my skin beneath a tattoo of vines, a reminder of seasons change, that this too shall pass and grief will release from my body and collect wherever the leaves go in winter, that rains will come and wash clean this sorrow as if I haven't already wept for so long. I have become more river than woman, always running, muddied water rushing into banks that cannot hold me, strong current flowing, never knowing if it is leading me to healing or just further away from myself. And my country is a woman still mourning, tears falling like floods upon bone-dry sand until her land is rivers winding throughout the heart. But unlike me, she is not afraid of the ocean. The way it yearns to swallow her whole, because my country is a woman, is a fighter, is a survivor, is a warrior, is forgiveness. And I am still trying to understand my country and I are born of the same spirit. Tell me of the ways a river learns to surrender to the sea, how I too will learn to surrender to something bigger than myself. Tell me how to wash clean the wounds without reopening the scars, of how not to fear this current which pulls me far from all I've known. Tell me how being drawn to the ocean is not about disappearing, but becoming. How I will finally stop running and move back toward this land that is mine. Tell me of the ways I will learn to take up space. Tell me of the ways I will heal. Thank you.